It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today as we start a brand new week on the channel. Today is a Monday, and again, like we did last month, I'm making it a Sleep Token Monday, and I'm happy that you are with me. Last month, y'all, for the first time I heard music from this band, and I was really impressed with what I heard. We heard Emergence, which is the first single from their upcoming fourth album called Even in Arcadia. As I recall, it was smart, it was varied, it had a lovely message in its lyrics, the harmonic voicings were superior, it wasn't overcrowded with a whole bunch of noise, everything made sense, and the overall listening experience was pretty darn great, y'all. I really enjoyed it. Especially for a first time listen and for a first time listen to the band itself. I really was impressed with them, and I promised myself that I would get back to their music this month. And to be quite honest, I was expecting to listen to their classic track, The Summoning, which a whole bunch of y'all have recommended in the wake of me hearing them last month. But the second song from their upcoming album called Caramel has just dropped, and I want to continue on with this new material for now before I go back and fill in some of their back catalog of music. And I'm really pumped to get to this one, y'all. As I mentioned previously, the last time that we heard them, this is a band that takes their personal anonymity quite seriously. They perform while being masked, and their identities are kept quite secret. And I believe that this song is speaking directly on that subject. The lyrics seem to acknowledge their rise and their popularity, and they like this, they want this, and they want their success and musical reach to stick to them like caramel or caramel, right? But they're also imploring their fans, and I think just the universe at large, to protect their privacy. As I read here in verse 2, the lyrics say, every time they try to shout my real name just to get a rise from me, acting like I've never... Try again. Acting like I'm never stressed out by the hearsay, I guess that's what I get for trying to hide in the limelight. I guess that's what I get for having 2020 hindsight. Everybody wants eyes on them. I just want to hear you sing that top line. He's like, don't worry about who we are or what we do in our in our own private time. It's about the music. If you like it, sing along. I think that's what they're talking about. So it's going to be really interesting for me to hear what sounds they are using, if it's kind of open and jazzy and varied, kind of like Emergence, or if they're going a completely different way on this particular song. I'm really curious to hear it. Vessel is the musician that kind of leads the charge here. He is our composer, and he's handling vocals, guitar, bass, keys, and synths. Number 2 plays the drums and tours. Number 3 is a touring member and plays bass. Number 4 is a touring member and plays guitar. And Espera is their touring backing vocal group. And but I think they only play when they go on stage and they tour. As far as the studio release is concerned, I think it's almost completely the work of Vessel, the guy behind everything here. So I'm ready to listen to it, y'all. I know y'all are as well. This one only came out like 3 or 4 days ago, and so I'm happy to be able to slot this one in and get to it, and I'm eager to do so. Let's listen to Sleep Token with their song Caramel. Off we go. Cool. That is not metal. I think that's what I said last time. It's a cool sound. It's like a hybrid of a piano, keyboard, and percussion. Right foot on the roses, left foot on the landmine.
Tripping on the grapevine, they can sing the words while I cry into the baseline. Wear me out like Prada.
No, that was 7 to 6 in the minor key. Backed up into corners, bitter in the lens. I'm sick of trying to hide it. Every time they take mine. Nice. A little bit of a bass drop. Love it. So they're not starting the phrase on the one chord. They get to it there. Listen to the drums. Real name just to get a rise. Say, yeah. I can't sing that fast, y'all. I just want to hear you sing that top line. Rock and roll. The chorus comes back a second time, and it drops even bigger. Nice pacing. Relative major, right? And it's 4. Back to a minor 1. Nice. He's lonely. You know, when you get famous, you don't know who your real friends are. The sweetest dreams are bitter, but there's no one left to tell. I'm riveted by this, y'all. I'm just glued to the lyrics. And while I was talking, he migrated to the relative major key. Bring it. I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't, and then it goes to this. Woo! Wall of sound. There's so much sound there, it's hard to tell what's going on. Listen to that.
The stage is a prison, a beautiful nightmare, a war of attrition. I'll take what I'm given, the deepest incisions. I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't.
And again, at the very end, it's like it's teasing that there's more to the story, and we don't get to have the story just yet. At least all of it. Y'all! Okay. So, not your prototypical Metal Monday, friends. A whole bunch of big bass and big drums and tritones and overpowering guitars. It's not what these guys are, apparently, at least not currently. It's really well constructed. I cannot say that enough. You know how you can hear everything until in the like that breakdown towards the end, you kind of can't. And when all of those sounds come in there towards the end, it's like, and there's so much debris in the sound, it clouds what I am actually interpreting and what I'm hearing. It makes it more difficult to understand exactly harmonically and all that sort of stuff what's going on. But maybe that's the point of that particular section. Everything else is relatively easy to understand. The music, the way that it's arranged, the way that the instruments are put forth, there's space. There's space in the middle. It's not being clogged with all of these synths and pads and doublings and everything else. It's open for that really great percussion playing to cut through and his voice to cut through. And it allows for an intimacy with this music while also having it at times being really intense and overbearing, but it also allows you to be really close to it. And that's something that metal music tends to not do for me. Metal music, it's like, all right, y'all are up on the stage, and I'm going to be way back here, and I'm going to have my my earplugs in, and I'm going to go, woo, from back here at a safe distance. You know, these guys, it's like, you can get right up and intimate with us here. This music is going to invade your soul, right? You're going to understand what we're talking about. And when we need to drop that bass, we're going to do that. But that's not only what we're interested in. Wow, y'all. Emergence, I believe, was the second song on the album. I saw the album listing, and the only songs right now that have a title are the ones that have been released. I think this one is like more like halfway through the album. I can't wait to see if there's really like a full continuum and narrative to this. If it's going to be like telling a cohesive story, or if it's just going to be kind of talking about related ideas. I don't know, but darn, I like it, friends. It's really refreshing, and it's really fresh. A really lovely mixing and cohesion of historically quite separate genres and styles. They've got jazz in there. They've got some jazz fusion in there with a lot of that open voicings. They've got hip hop in there. They've got pop in there. They've got some real heavy sounds like metal, but it's beyond a conventional definition musically, as far as I'm concerned, and that makes me really excited. Both of these two songs that they've released have done pretty darn well. Caramel was released on YouTube like 3 or 4 days ago, and it already has 1.5 million views. And Emergence has been out less than a month, and it already has almost 5 million views. Congratulations, Sleep Token. You've got my attention, and I'm really excited to hear the rest of it when it comes out. The entire album, even in Arcadia, is due out on May 9th. We've got about another month as I am recording this, and I would love to dive into more from them and keep going to them. You know, we get on these paths where, you know, there was a time I was doing a whole bunch of Iron Maiden. You know, I don't do it as much anymore. I was doing a whole bunch of Genesis and a whole bunch of Yes. And I've done that, you know, I'll come back to them occasionally, but I love learning about these bands that are new to me, and especially are current and working and giving us new music to listen to here, even this year. And it's fun to hear this. Caramel from Sleep Token. I can't wait until the rest of it comes out. This is really, really fascinating sounds, y'all, and I appreciate y'all coming along for the ride with me and helping me out. So if I got anything wrong, with this, or if there's more information that you think would be helpful, put it there in the chat and in the comments, and I would be happy to hear from all of you. For today, friends, I believe that is going to be all from me, but I've got a whole lot more coming up this week. I thank you for being with me, and we will see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.